Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this afternoon's webcast. We are going to be talking all about mobile apps and Apple and some of the latest things that have come up in the industry. One of the things with working with technology, it never changes, which is a fabulous thing, and sometimes makes you have to adjust. So that's what we're going to share with you today. My name is Saranda West. I'm the product manager for Spectrum, and joining me today is Tommy Sanderson. He is our product manager focused on all things member experience, which is what we're going to be talking about with you today. A couple of housekeeping things. We are using a technology called Zoom for the webcast today, which may be new for some of you that have attended our previous webcasts. There is a Q&A option within the webcast. Feel free to submit any kind of question that you have while we're going through this information, and we'll make this a little bit of a conversation. We also have time saved for questions at the end, but don't wait till then. Go ahead and submit those questions, and we'll make sure to answer them as we go along. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tommy.
Thanks, Saranda. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. We are very excited to come to you today and talk about some updated guidelines from Apple. Really kind of give you a heads up about these and kind of get you in the know for what's coming up next, and then also how Daxko is changing the way that we deliver apps. So we're really excited about that, and excited about the opportunities that it's going to provide our customers. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started here. So really, we're just going to talk to you guys who this is actually impacting, and it's customers that have branded apps. Or that you're looking to have a branded app in the App Store. We're going to look over the Apple guidelines, in particular the Apple Guideline 4.2.6, and talk about that and really what does that mean for you and your organization. And then what we're also going to do is talk about our solution at Daxko to these updated guidelines, and that is a container app. And so I'll go through what that is and what the heck a container app is and how you can use that. And then we'll go a little bit further into our solution, and then we'll open it up at the end, as Saranda said, for questions. So we'll go ahead and get started then. So first off, really, who will this impact? So what are we talking about today? So do you have a branded app for your club, or are you planning to? I know a lot of us know how important that app is for your organization, and how much of connection your members feel when they are looking at an app that has your information in it. And we just want to go over some guidelines that have updated from Apple that may impact you and either your Daxko app or other apps that you might be working with other companies with. So just to kind of give you a level set of what the Apple Guideline 4.2.6, which sounds so official, is actually about. So in June, Apple announced an updated guideline that states that apps created from a commercialized template or app generation service would be rejected. So we are going to get into what exactly that means and kind of go through the Apple speak of that and talk about how that will affect your club. On November 18th, Apple will begin enforcing this guideline for Daxko. And if you're implementing an app after November 18th, this change will impact how your branded app appears in the App Store, and we'll go through that as well. So no worries. So really, what does all that mean? All those guidelines can be extremely confusing, and if you read through the guidelines that are actually available on the App Store, it's kind of hard to understand exactly what Apple is talking about. Apple has always had a do not clone rule in place, and now they're enforcing it. So if the Apple Store is full of similar apps with different names, and Apple is working towards cleaning this up. So all you have to do is take a look at the App Store on Apple or Android, and you see it's full of apps. It's full of a lot of apps that do the exact same thing. In our case, the reason we had different branded apps was because it represented our our customers in that, and they really were not spam apps, but they do fall into this updated guideline because the apps have similar menu structures, similar icons, similar menu structures, and how you actually access the information within the app, and similar features. Apple would flag this type of app. So companies have been able to create apps that provide similar functionality, only with different names and brandings. But unfortunately, those days are over. And those days are over not just for Daxko, those days are over for anybody that creates apps. And so we've got a couple of different options that we'll talk through today. The option that Daxko has decided to go with is something called a container app. And we will break down exactly what a container app is and what that means for your organization. So should you worry? Absolutely not. We've got a plan. The action by Apple has impacted every company that provides apps to customers, just as I was talking about. And your app that represents your club organization, it's not going away. We have the ability to keep that app going. We have the ability to provide you with a solution as well. If you currently have a branded app live in the store, then you will be able to keep your branded app. All these apps will be grandfathered at this point. So if you don't have an app yet, good news is we have a solution. And so we're here to walk you through that. Daxko has been in the app business for quite some time, and we have had really great success in our apps and how we help our customers. And that's really what we want to do, is just to be here as a partner with you and provide the best solution possible for you and your members. So let's talk about what's changing. So November 18th is a big day. It's the main change is that after November 18th, your app will be deployed to the App Store in a different way. And we'll talk about what that means. It's really not as scary as it may first sound. Second of all, Apple is requiring that apps with similar features be combined into a container app. So the reason that they're doing this is because they need, they're trying to clean up the store. As you can imagine, we're in the millions on apps at this point. And what Apple wants to be able to do is to provide a very clean experience to their customers. Unfortunately, that will impact us in our industry as well, and many other industries. You'll notice a lot of apps will be changing over the next few months. And a number of companies are going to change how they offer apps to their customers. We will be offering tools and guidance to make sure that your members can find and start using your new app successfully. Like I said, we have experience in this. We have best practices on the best ways to get your members involved. We want to make sure that they are able to very easily have access to that app on their phone and be able to see the information that's important to them, and also that's important to you as an owner, to be able to push that information to those customers. So we're going to be providing a series of webinars that really hone in on that and help you with those actions. So let's talk about what a branded app is and what a container app is. And so a branded app is probably what you're most familiar with, although you probably have a number of container apps on your phone and you don't even know it. A branded app is, let's say I'm a member of, in this case, Lakeshore Fitness. And I search for that company name in the App Store, and I see the logo, I see the name for my LSF, and I get that app and open it up. With a container app, it's just a little bit different. Instead of having a separate branded app for each one of the clubs, there is one app, and it's the Daxko app. And so that's what we're developing right now. So instead of somebody going out and searching for a particular club, the club will actually be able to, we're going to provide the clubs with the ability to push out a very special link that will take them straight to the App Store, where they can download the app. And then, because of the way that the link is put together, it will actually open up the container app with all your branding inside. So the only thing that really is changing is the app icon and the name. And we're going from many club apps to just offering one. Of course, like I said before, if you had a branded app before, that will not change. You're not losing your branded app. You're not going to one app on that case. That's grandfathered in. But new customers will be going to our container app solution. Sorry. So container apps, just kind of getting a little bit deeper into what exactly that is. So a container app is a single app that multiple organizations can use. Now, the way that we're setting it up is that we're not revealing the other organizations that use that container app, the way that we have that set up within our app. So no worries about exposing other competitors that may use Daxko. We're doing this in a way that is very seamless, and that you will continue to have your branding inside of the app. So one container app replaces multiple branded apps, and the good thing about this is the speed to market will greatly increase. And the reason it's going to greatly increase is because Apple is an unknown for us sometimes. We submit apps to Apple, and it takes a good bit of time. It can take up to a week or more for an app to come back from Apple after they've reviewed it. So with this container app, we'll already have our container app out there on the App Store. When we have a new customer come in that needs to be put into the app, it's a very quick process, and there will need to be no update for the app. It will just automatically be able to use the container app. So very quickly, we'll be able to get new customers up and running on the app. And so we're really excited about that. You'll still be able to see your branded solution. It'll only be inside the container. So once you click into that app, you'll still see the great features that we've always offered for mobile member. You'll still see the calendar and being able to book classes. Everything will stay exactly the same. The only difference is the icon that you use to get to the app. And then once you get there, it's all your branded information. So in talking about that, we have to talk about a change in the way that we promote apps. So previously, we might have promoted apps with just asking customers to go to the App Store and search for your brand name. Now what we're doing is we're going to provide you tools that will allow you to send a specially formulated link to members that allow them just to bypass having to search and go right to the container app, open up the container app, and there's your branded solution right there. And so it'll be a much faster and easier solution for members, and we're really excited about going this way. So again, the difference is how your members find and download your app. So branded app, again, just to kind of reinforce, members would search the stores for your app. In this new world with container apps, members will receive a special link to directly download the app. And so we are really excited about the marketing potential that this has as well. So our solution, what are we doing to create this container app? We're currently working on a container app that will both provide an excellent experience for our new customers and satisfy Apple's guidelines. The solution will focus heavily on the user experience, and we will help you guide your members through the onboarding process. So the good thing is that the container app and our current branded apps that are out there on the store both share the same code base. So that said, we will be doing feature updates on a regular basis, continue to add value to your app, whether it's the container app or the branded app version. So no worries on that. We are not leaving anything in the dust by doing this. We're going forward with a dedicated team to work on these updates. So we are really excited about the future of the apps at Daxko. So what should you know? So if you walk away with, let's say, just 4 things from this webinar, these should be your takeaways. So first one is, if you're working with any other company to build an app for your organization, reach out to them and ask them about how they're dealing with this 4.2.6 guideline. Like I said, it's not just Daxko that's having to deal with this. So if you're using another company for an app for something else in your business, it might be a good idea to go ahead and reach out to them and ask them about this 4.2.6 guideline and see how they're handling this. So Daxko is currently working on a solution, and we'll give you an update in future webinars to demonstrate a new approach to app design. So we're really excited about that, and are anxious to share that with you as well. So the updated guideline will not affect apps that are currently live on the App Store. We will continue to be able to provide those customers with updates as well. So that was just what I was talking about before with your branded apps that are currently out there live on the App Store. And then the last one is, this is just dealing with Apple iOS apps and not Android. However, we want to use the same solution for both platforms because it's confused. We believe that it would be confusing to have different solutions for Apple and Android. So even if this will impact our Android and our Apple apps. So we're making one container app that will handle both of those operating systems, just to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. All right. Well, I have my email address here, tsanderson@daxko.com. Please feel free to email me with questions that you have. But we do want to open this up to questions. As Saranda said earlier, we have a ability to actually ask questions within the Zoom app. And so we would love for you to type in a question and send us a question for us to answer. I see that we have a couple of questions already. Saranda, do you mind reading some of the questions, and then I will do my best in answering?
Absolutely. So, Tommy, specifically, so there's a customer specifically, if they are in the middle of the implementation process for the mobile member app today, what does that, like, go back to the November 18th and walk us through what that means if they are already in implementation?
Absolutely. So if your launch date is after November 18th, then we will be in contact with you and talk about doing a container app and all the good things that come along with being in the container app solution. If you're launching before that November 18th date, then you will have a branded app. And so that is our cutoff date for this being able to give that type of app out.
Great, Tommy. Okay, so another question, so this is a new guideline from Apple. We're going the container app route, but is there another way to get around this? So like, could a club publish the app under their own name and not get rejected by Apple? Are there other options?
Yeah, so that is possible that you can publish it under your own name. And previously, we would have actually suggested that as a solution for this. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess technology grows and gets better all the time. Apple actually has algorithms that can look at apps and not rely on reviewers to see that apps are the same. So right now, or previously in the past, they were relying on actual people looking at the apps and making sure that they were not the same apps as they've seen somewhere else. You would even rely on maybe that reviewer has never seen that particular app before, so they don't know it already exists. But unfortunately, Apple is taking care of that by putting in some automation that'll let them know that it's a duplicate app. So it will not even matter who the publisher is.
Got it. Okay. So going back to timelines. So we talked about if a customer is launching before November 18th, what about after? When do we anticipate the container app being available?
Yeah, so we are working hard on that container app to make sure that it is an excellent experience all the way around, and that it is a good thing for our customers and then also for our members, and making sure that it's as smooth as possible. We anticipate that it will most likely be a first of the year release of that container app. But again, we want to make sure that we do this the right way and don't rush it out the door. We've had very little time to kind of get on board with this because of those Apple guidelines being updated. But it's amazing what our team has been able to do and how we've been able to focus with the talent, the unbelievable talent that we have here to be able to put this container app together. So it will most likely be a first of the year release of that.
Great. And I think another thing to add to that is we'll keep everyone updated. This is relatively new for us. And so we've been trying to respond accordingly. And then we'll make sure to keep everyone up to date as we learn more.
Absolutely. So like I spoke about the first, this is the first webinar of a 3-part series. The first webinar is, we're talking about the course what we just talked about would be guidelines. The second webinar will actually be able to show you the container app solution that we have been working on, and we'll go through in detail what that is and demo that for you. And then the last webinar, which will be helpful for people that have even already launched a branded app as well, will be talking about best practices and the way that you can get your members to download and use the app and really come to depend on that as a channel for you to speak to your customers and members with. And so we're excited about that and be looking for the announcements of when those webinars are coming out. We're also going to be doing a blog post as well. A lot of this information that we've covered today, along with a recording of this webinar, so you can distribute that out to your staff and to other people within your organization to kind of let them know what we're talking about and what this guideline stuff and container stuff is all about. And so we're going to be doing that very soon. Look for that probably the start of next week. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, then we so appreciate your time today, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Hope y'all have a good rest of the day.